Hey everyone, it's Marilla Manelli here, and today I'm going to show you how to do a low maintenance balayage on curly hair using all Kenra color. So stay tuned and check it out. This is my model Kristen, and it's been about a year and a half since she's gotten her hair color done. And she's really looking for something that's low maintenance as well as versatile because she really likes wearing her hair curly and straight. So what we're gonna go in with is demi-permanent hair color, so she has a soft line of demarcation, as well as open hair painting to brighten up her overall look using all Kenra color.
For this project, I will be using two formulas simultaneously. The first one is Simply Blonde Clay Lightener at a 1:2 mixing ratio with 30 volume developer, and the second one is Kenra Color Demi Permanent 6N at a 1:2 mixing ratio with 9 volume developer.
For my model's hair, I will be utilizing all zigzag partings, so utilizing her center part, I just took a zigzag section all the way down the center and then brought another zigzag section from the top right back down to her ear, and in the very back, starting right at the occipital bone, I took another deep zigzag section and then clipped the remaining of the hair away. For my application, I'm starting out by applying the 6N Demi-Permanent formula at about 2 inches onto the roots and making sure to thoroughly saturate so that way we have a nice rooted effect and also a natural effect considering she is a natural level 6-7, and this is just going to richen up her hair color and also make it super low maintenance since it's so close to her natural hair color. Since we are going to be doing some hair painting, I really want that hair painting to exist on the exterior right at this bottom, so I just brought that 6N color all the way down through the center. And then now I'm going to apply my clay lightener to the exterior. So I just comb that demi-permanent color right on down, and then I'm going to hair paint onto the surface and make sure to thoroughly saturate the surface as well as the ends. And then I'm also going to apply the lightener on the underside so that way if she does pull her hair up and into a ponytail, she will have some nice, pretty lived-in highlights throughout the back. I'm just going to complete the other side, and I comb down the demi-permanent with a wide tooth comb, and then I'm starting to apply my lightener on the underside first and then working on thoroughly saturating the surface of each side and then really working that product right on in throughout the ends. Once I was done with this section, I then took another 2 to 3 inch zigzag section right on top of the occipital, and again, I'm repeating the same process of putting the 6N Demi-Permanent right onto the first 2 to 3 inches of new growth. And then now I'm going to work on splitting these sections up. So really the goal here is to create some really thick, chunky pieces for my balayage pieces, but I want to make sure that I have the depth in there so the highlights can pop, which is why I'm adding in that 6N and pulling that all the way through on 2 of the pieces inside. So on this particular section, I have a total of 5 sections, and they're rather chunky. So what the end result will be is that when these curls are gathered together, when she wears her hair curly, they're really going to be isolated and pop, but give still that subtle highlight effect because we are doing that surface hair painting. The other cool thing about this technique is that when she wears her hair straight, she's still going to have a nice pop of brightness throughout the exterior because that's where we're really focusing on the hair painting, but it's also going to give a nice subtle lived-in effect that's super low maintenance because we are doing that open air hair painting. I'm going to continue to take the same zigzag sections and then split those sections into more subsections. So the width of these are completely up to you, but right on the widest part of her hair, I have about 5 to 6 sections here. So just kind of be mindful of where exactly you want to apply the depth. So for me, the depth is always going to live right behind where I want the lightest pieces to live. So since again, I'm really focused on lightening that exterior, I want to make sure that that 6N lives right behind it. So as I move towards the top of the head, there's going to be a little bit of that 6N overlapping on top of or underneath or on the side of each of my hair painted pieces. Now once I get towards the top, I'm going to take a triangular section or a diagonal section, and I'm still applying that 6N on the interior of that triangular section and then hair painting the exterior. And then for the very, very top of the section, I'm just going to bring that hair all the way down, comb through that 6N, and still hair paint that surface because that's where I want most of the brightness to live. Once I get to the sides, I'm just going to isolate with another zigzag section that first 1/2 inch to inch of hairline, and then take another zigzag section horizontally and then working in that same pattern. Because we're working in the front, I want the most brightness again to be on that exterior and towards the face. So I'm taking that 6N and making sure to apply it on that inside section. And then for the very front hairline, I'm not bringing that 6N as far down as I did in the back. I'm just kind of tapping it in, and then I'm going to hair paint away from the face. So a quick little tip is to hold the hair literally right off of the head and nice and taut, and hold your brush parallel to the hair and hold the hair nice and taut as you're working with it. For that very front piece, I'm just holding the hair nice and taut right off of the scalp, and with lots of tension and even application, I'm thoroughly saturating that surface and then placing the hair right on down, and then taking another zigzag section horizontally and making sure to apply that 6N right behind that hairline piece. So in this particular section, I made 3 subsections and only applying lightener to that middle section. And then for the very, very top, I'm gonna split this section up with diagonal sections. So these are all gonna be diagonal forward sections. And I'm starting off with the 6N demi-permanent and alternating with 6N right into the lightener and then 6N and lightener. The purpose of the 6N blended into the lightener is so that way there's a nice soft blend and a soft line of demarcation as she's processing, resulting in a lower maintenance balayage.
Now that we're all done with her color application, we're gonna process her room temperature for about 20 minutes and then get ready to do her final glaze.
Since we lifted Kristen to a nice solid level 8, she does have a little bit of warmth, but I want to enhance the warmth but also control some of it as well, which is why I'm going to go in with equal parts of 8GB, so it has a nice beige light reflection, which is going to help with the coolness, and then 9PV, which is a pearl violet, which will help control some of that gold. And then I mix that up 1 to 2 with 9 volume developer and then processed her for 15 minutes. To style Kristen's curls, I'm applying moisturizing oil right onto her wet hair first, and then applying a generous amount of curl defining cream and really focus on raking that through the mids and ends and then finally applying it to her roots. Once I was done applying the product, I set my dryer to a high heat and low setting with a diffuser, and then now I'm just going to patiently dry her hair for about 15 minutes.
And here's the final result on how to do low maintenance balayage for curly hair. So just to recap, we went in with demi-permanent 6N at a 1 to 2 mixing ratio with 9 volume developer, and then hair painted in Simply Blonde Clay Lightener at a 1 to 2 mixing ratio with 30 volume developer, and then processed her for 20 minutes. And then for her final glaze, we went in with 8GB with a little bit of 9PV at a 1 to 2 mixing ratio with 9 volume developer and processed her for 20 minutes. So I really hope you liked this video tutorial, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time.